Hello, my name is Christopher Merritt, and I'm going to be talking about my service learning experience for spring 2013. This year I had the honor of volunteering at Lighthouse Christian Academy, which is located on Merritt Island. And I can say that this has been a very eye-opening experience and kind of helped me to see my potential career in this field. So if I had to describe two things, if I had to describe what I learned and felt on my service learning project, I would have to say I learned how to be patient this semester. I work with a lot of kids with disabilities this semester. I have worked with kids in the past, but none of the kids that I worked with in the past really had any major behavior issues, or any disabilities such as Tourette's. So actually being able to deal with children with disabilities takes a lot of patience, and it takes a lot of time, because you're entering into their world and they're sort of entering into yours, but more importantly you're entering into theirs, and most of the time they're used to a certain set schedule and a certain set of people instructing them and helping them. So now you're a new face coming in, so it kind of disrupts the balance a little bit. So you kind of have to learn to be patient with the kids. Another thing that I learned was the integrity of the trust relationship. One thing I learned was that I had to build a trust foundation with these kids, and once I built that trust foundation with them, they would open up, they would trust me, and then I would be able to, help them in any way that I could. So if I had to use two words that exemplifies my service learning experience, first word I would use was the integrity of relationship. Being able to be genuine, open, and transparent to the kids so that they can build a relationship with you, and that they can build so that a foundation can be built so that you can kind of instill in them key things that they need to learn concerning their academics. And another thing was love. It takes to work with kids, especially with kids with disabilities, because you have to be so patient. It takes a certain level of patience, and you have to, through that patience, you have to kind of have love. If you don't love what you're doing, then your patience will be very short. So I had to draw a picture of which summarizes my service learning experience. So I drew a circle, as you can see. A circle represents completion. I feel like this semester I kind of learned a lot of things about me. I was used to organizing things more on a family basis, such as family gatherings, but I had never actually done anything as far as organizing or orchestrating any type of activity on a major scale with a lot of kids. So while at Lighthouse Christian Academy, I was actually able to orchestrate an activity where the kids were actually blindfolded and actually led through a room where they couldn't see, and they had to make it to the other side. And basically what it was, the activity was to teach them is that in all things we may go through life sometimes and we may not have the answer, but if we look to God, then He can kind of guide our footsteps and kind of lead us in the right direction. So I would say, what was the worst and most difficult thing that happened to you? That happened to me while at Lighthouse. Lighthouse was pretty much a great experience. I mean, the people were great. A lot of people, the staff were very genuine. They were very helpful. They were very, very informative. The only part that I could probably say that frustrated me was actually being stuck in the office. I want to get an idea of the whole business, So actually being in the office was actually a big part of that. So I mean, it was part of the experience. I spent a lot of time in the office. I probably spent more time in the office than I did with the children. But at the same time, I realized that I had to build a trust rapport with the staff so that they would have confidence that I can get the job done. I know if I can get in there, file papers, answer phone calls, log important phone calls, that they will ultimately understand that, hey, we can trust this guy. We can really use him to help with the kids. What was the best thing that happened? The best thing that happened was I was actually able to help some of the kids, actually able to lead them in the right direction, give advice, teach kids fundamentals of, addition, subtraction, reading, just small things that may seem very minute, but in the bigger picture, they're all a combination of things that will help them be more productive adults once they graduate. So I'll say the best part about my experience with Lighthouse Christian Academy was actually just being able to give a helping hand to the kids. So now I have to rate myself. I would most likely give myself a 7. The reason I give myself a 7 is because I feel like I did a good job. But as well, this is kind of like a trial and error type situation. So I think there are some things that I could have did better. I could have been, I say, more confident in the beginning. In the beginning I was really nervous. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know exactly how to, what's the word I'm looking for? I really didn't know how to get in and be me or be myself in the situation. So I kind of had to learn to fit my way in. But through that experience, now I've learned how to go in and be confident from day one. How have I benefited from this experience personally, academically, occupationally? Personally, it just showed me that there's no task too big. It showed me that no matter what type of kids I work with, that I can work with them, whether they have disabilities or whether they don't have disabilities. I learned that, I have the talent to rise to the occasion. Academically, it just helps my confidence all the more. I was a kid that kind of grew up with a background of not really knowing how to do things. I was slow at reading, slow at all things that was academic, but I've kind of fought my way as an adult to be more productive. Occupationally, I think I'll be able to use the time that I've spent at LCA on my resume, and as I go and as I get my degree, I'll be able to use the times logged at LCA as experience helping kids, tutoring kids, teacher's assistant, as well as I want to get into the counseling aspect, which LCA has offered me sort of an internship after the semester is over, to be able to come back and really kind of do a lot of the same things I was already doing this semester. What I've learned about myself from this service learning experience, what I've learned about myself is that the sky's the limit. Whatever I put my mind to, but as well as that, there's really, I have a heart for this. That's what I learned. I learned that I really have the heart to really put forth a major effort in helping kids everywhere. That's my goal. That's my dream. I want to go out and I want to be able to help kids get that fresh start that they need to be productive adults. What changes would I recommend and how the service site operates? I would probably say that the service site probably needs Okay, I read that wrong. What changes would you recommend in how your service site operates? How the service learning program operates? I would say the service learning site probably could use more helping hands. I think you can never have enough hands on site to be able to assist the children and be better prepared for the children as they come in each day. You can never have enough help, especially when you're dealing with kids with special needs. Name 5 things. If I had to name 5 things that I can do better, that I can do to better society, I would say actually volunteer more. One would be volunteering more, and volunteering at a lot different sites such as soup kitchens and things of that nature. Another 2, I would say be proactive in your community. This semester, not only did I volunteer at LCA, but I was actually able to volunteer at the March of Dimes this past weekend, where we was able to, through my company that I work for, Pepsi, we were actually able to provide drinks, and we were actually able to hand out drinks to all the marchers who were marching for the premature babies. As well, also this semester I did a beach cleanup in Melbourne Beach. So all those things that I did this semester kind of helped my community. Also, being more proactive to hand out, flyers of programs like her first time home buyers program sheets, as well as March of Dimes program sheets that'll help the community understand what programs are out there to help them, what programs they can get involved in. I also would get out and advocate for my community and my neighbors to be more proactive and helping out in the community and doing more things that will help the community grow. Like I said earlier, you can never have enough help, so the more the better. So another thing that I would do is I would be more informative to my classmates, my family, and just everybody in general. Another thing I probably would like to do is probably come up with a line of T-shirts that that have slogans on it that show our community the different things that we can get involved in. If there's one person that I admire while doing my service learning, and that will be Joyce Willoughby. Joyce, she was very kind, very genuine, and a very smart woman. She had a lot on her plate, but she led with confidence, and she had just such a tenacity about her as far as getting things done. She was very boisterous, as well as she led by action. So I admire her for being able to be over such a big organization and being able to instruct all of her leaders in which areas that she wants them to be in. At the same time, she handles a lot of the financial things, a lot of the parent interviews, as well as she's basically like the principal at the school, Lighthouse Christian Academy. So if there's one person that I can look at and say that I would like to take some of her characteristics and add them to my personality, I would say Joyce Willoughby would be that person. Because of my service learning experience, I would say that I'm more confident, I'm more patient, I'm more loving, I'm more caring than I was before I joined. Being around children a lot of times will bring out the best in you, because kids are so genuine that they give off like genuine. Being genuine is contagious. So they kind of showed me, ultimately how to come out of my shell as well. for them to actually seek out my advice and want me to come and tutor them, that was big to me. So out of my service learning experience, I can say that is something that I will hold on for the rest of my life. So I have to compare and contrast my experiences with anything you've previously experienced, read about, or imagined. I can kind of compare this experience to being a volunteer at my local church. While I'm a volunteer at my local church, I don't orchestrate anything. That would be the contrast, the difference between the two. While at Lighthouse Community Academy, I wasn't the head, but a lot of times Joyce would give me the keys, or so to speak, to orchestrate things to do with the children. Where it was my idea and I got to put it together, so it was basically my baby. I got to build it from the ground up. So if I could compare this experience with anything, I would compare it with my experiences at the local church. The college is imposing to require all students to do a 20-hour community service, a learning service experience. Please list the pros and cons for this proposal for both students' perspective and the college. From a student's perspective, I think it will be good. I think it will teach the students responsibility, accountability, how to commit to something and follow through with it. But also, it also gives the student that perspective of what they're capable of doing, how they're capable of doing it, how they can go about doing it. It kind of gives them that life experience where they can go out and achieve something bigger than themselves, to be able to help somebody that's bigger than yourself. And then from the college perspective, this will ensure the college administrators that they are preparing the student in every facet, not just an academic perspective where we're teaching them algebra or teaching them about sociology, but it kind of gives the students a hands-on real life experience of what life is like, not just for the good but also for the bad things that they may encounter, what the people in the community are like when they go on a job. It also gives them opportunity to go into a field that they may be looking to get a degree in and kind of try it out, without having to go through all those years of getting a degree and then figure out, oh, this is not what I want to do. So from that perspective, I think all students should do some type of community service. Last but not least, I would like to say that I enjoyed this experience. It was a life-changing experience. And if I had to do it all over again, I would do nothing over. I would do it exactly the same way I did it, because I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about the kids. I learned a lot about being, about working with kids and about working with kids with special needs. So through this whole experience, I can say it was a great experience and I loved it. Once again, my name is Chris Maris. Have a great day.